Here come the holidays, and after a less than spooktacular Halloween, we're looking forward to a Thanksgiving and a Hanukkah and a Christmas that will be very different this year. As you're making holiday plans, these guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control are pretty common sense stuff. Outdoor gatherings are safer than indoors, but in much of the USA, it's too cold outdoors. So these other factors are all the more important. The less time spent together, the less we can infect each other. And this year, more isn't merrier. Dr. Fauci and others are asking that we don't travel because COVID could be hitchhiking or waiting at your destination. And various states require extended quarantine for visitors unless you get a negative test beforehand. So check. And masks, social distancing, and hand washing. Never take a holiday. If you've tested positive or you're in some kind of high-risk group, or if you have flu-like symptoms, sit tight and FaceTime your friends so that you can see them next year. And if your home is the holiday destination, what's a host to do? Let's ask the author of Beverly Hills Manners, Golden Rules from the World's Most Glamorous Zip Code, and Etiquette Advisor to the Stars, Lisa Gache. Welcome back to The Big Picture. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Holland. Great to see you.
Your website, BeverlyHillsManners.com, offers that your clients can master the art of putting others at ease. And your blog post, this Thanksgiving, it's not the food you make, it's how you make others feel, caught my eye. Share with us the 6 tips you offer there.
Yes, I really believe that it's so true, that sentiment. And so I heard what you said and what the CDC has laid down for us as guidelines. But if you have an opportunity to actually host an occasion where you're having just a few friends or family over, one of the first things that I say is just always important to set the tone with how you present yourself. So just getting dressed for the occasion, when so many of us have been living in our sweats and our comfy shoes, right, to actually put on a nice outfit really shows that you are setting a different tone for the evening. And I think encourage your guests to do the same. It'll make everyone feel like it is truly a special occasion. So number one is look the part, and then everyone will actually grow into and feel the special occasion that is Thanksgiving, which is an occasion we all love. Secondly, when you arrive, if you're a guest, it's always lovely to bring some type of a gift for your host. So what I always recommend is not necessarily something that would have to send them into doing more kind of busy work, but a gift that is kind of an all-purpose. So for example, not just flowers in a bouquet, but flowers in a vase. That they can be used over and over again, or maybe some hand-baked goods or home-baked goods, and then you bring that and serve it on a lovely platter that then they can keep for future use. So any type of host gift of that kind is truly appreciated, because that's your way of saying thank you for inviting me. And then if you're a guest, you really want to think about bringing your best self to the party. Just because you're family, you're still invited. And honestly, an invitation means that you were specifically selected for the occasion. And so you want to come with, your humor and your lighthearted self. Leave behind any of the gossip or the complaining or any of that kind of a negative energy. Lord knows there's enough of that out there. So we want to put that, tied up in a nice little bow, leave it at home. And then when you go to the party, you have just that ray of sunshine that you're bringing for everyone else there. And then, of course, when the food is laid out for us, and perhaps this year it may not be a buffet, it might be plated service, but before we begin, you must remember to toast your host. And this is really your acknowledgement of letting them know that you appreciate all that they've done, and the slaving over the stove, the slicing and dicing, and you really want to acknowledge them for that. So be the brave soul who steps up. And finally, when the Thanksgiving meal has ended, don't forget to say thank you. And I don't just mean a verbal thank you, which you will obviously give, but I'm talking about an actual handwritten note, because there really is no substitution for putting pen to paper and having received something in the mail that you can actually keep for years and years to look at.
Thanksgiving has always been a manners minefield, and we're always just a one Rush Limbaugh quote away from a crazy uncle or a tipsy aunt disrupting things, particularly this year. Is it gauche to stipulate no politics?
You know, I think that politics are so much on our mind right now, and we'll have already learned, I guess, what happens after the election, although we don't know if we'll have an actual president that we know is taking the office in 2021 yet. But I wouldn't say you have to preface it with not bringing up politics, because then that just almost encourages people. I will say, however, that if you go down that road and the subject comes up, that you can just be civil. There is a way to actually communicate in a civil manner. And then if somebody seems to go down a road of destruction, all you have to do is just, deflect and distract. So move them away from the table into the kitchen, ask for some help, or bring up, some kind of random topic about a movie that's come out online, or a favorite book that you're reading. And then the subject hopefully just evolves into something new.
Very tactful. We're speaking with Lisa Gache, BeverlyHillsManners.com. And like everyone else's, Santa's routine has been disrupted. Lisa, you have written that it's the message that matters, and you don't have to spend a lot to look like you did. Your gift-giving guidance for a very different holiday season?
Yes. There are still people that are shopping. I mean, I've been out in the stores, so we know that people are still finding little trinkets and gifts and ways to either gift themselves or gift others. So one of the things that I always do is advise to keep a little gift closet. So if you're doing that when you're out and about and you happen to find that perfect item that might be for that special someone, you can just collect those items and keep them for the ready, because you never know when you'll need that last minute host gift or last minute gift for someone for the holiday. But regarding personal gifts, we want to think of the recipient always in mind. And it's funny because a lot of times people will think, well, I like it, so therefore the person who's receiving it must love it too. And that isn't necessarily so. So we want to treat others the way they would like to be treated and find something special that they would appreciate. So as long as you're sticking with something right now, I think that is sensitive to where we all are as a country, maybe like a cozy blanket, something to snuggle up with at home, or even a picnic basket for some people who may be dining outside, even in the chilly weather. Those are some ideas for personal gifts. If we are thinking about office gifts, especially in a time where none of us are really in the office, this may not seem as necessary. However, there are still ways to acknowledge your colleagues. You can send a card and perhaps a gift card as well, enclosed in your handwritten card, that will allow them to purchase something for themselves online. And you can even send that with a little gift basket that has some culinary items, which I always think is a lovely gift. I mean, everybody has or needs a little oil and vinegar in their house, in their kitchen. And so things of that nature that will be easy for them to just purchase for themselves. But I do say, don't disregard those at the office. We still want to make sure to acknowledge our coworkers and our colleagues. And as we mentioned before, if you are attending some kind of in-person engagement, then a host gift is absolutely a must. Your host may suggest that you bring an actual food item, which you'll obviously do, but definitely make sure to couple that with a gift for the host themselves. And at holiday time, everybody loves a really lovely scented candle. And I have to preface that with one of the nicer candles. Sometimes one of the less expensive candles don't smell so good, so you want to maybe spend a few extra dollars to have that just gorgeous, either pine smell or that wonderful fall smell of the wood burning fire. It's worth it. And finally, don't forget the children and the pets. So if you're gifting a child, honestly, since parents have been home and kids have been home, I think the best gifts at holiday time are something that involve an activity or a craft that will really take up a good deal of time, that the children will enjoy, the parents will be happy that they're doing something constructive, and always books. I mean, there's never enough encouragement to get the kids off their technology and have them reading. So those are my two go-to gifts for children. But of course, don't forget the pets. We have a small dog, and if somebody arrives at our house with a little something, a little pet bed or little outfit,
Yeah.
love that as well.
Tails a wagon. You've given me an idea about the folks at work because we haven't been together. So I think that gesture, while we're distance working, would mean all the more. I'm down to about a minute,
Absolutely.
so we don't have time to read the entire helpful chart you have put at BeverlyHillsManners.com. It's about holiday tipping, which is tricky this year because we have had less routine exposure to the folks that we usually do spiff this time of year. So I would encourage anybody to go to BeverlyHillsManners.com, and Lisa has a very detailed chart with suggested percentages. But Lisa, a minute or less, beneath those numbers, what are the thoughts that count with the holiday gratuity?
I think no matter what, you really don't want to skip the tip this year, despite the fact that we are all feeling the pinch of COVID-19. However, we do know all of those that have served us all year long, for those that still are able to have caregivers or have gone out for various services. I mean, Lord knows I need it with my hair, and all the people that take care of us. So we really want to find a way to acknowledge them and give them the tip that they deserve. And whether that be a cash tip, you can send or give them something that might be a little bit smaller and let them know that you'll catch up in the new year. Absolutely make sure to write a handwritten note so that they know that the thought is there
nice
in
touch.
addition to,
Yep.
right?
Very nice
and
touch.
Just don't
and this year they need it more than ever. You bet. Lisa Gache, BeverlyHillsManners.com. I always love having you here because you force me to be on my best behavior. Happy holidays.